What if the war in Ukraine isn't just about territory, but it's about energy, nuclear secrets, and a shadow conflict between global superpowers? In a dramatic escalation, Russian President Vladimir Putin has accused the West of orchestrating pipeline sabotage and secretly transferring nuclear technology to Ukraine. These explosive claims, if true, would reshape the entire global security landscape. But are these allegations based on evidence, or are they part of a larger geopolitical strategy? This moment, I'll break down what Putin said, what we know so far, and why this could mark a dangerous new chapter in the war. Stay with me here on GEM 242 channel and hit the subscribe button. During a recent address, Vladimir Putin directly accused Western nations, particularly members of NATO, of coordinating acts of sabotage against critical Russian infrastructure. Central to his claim is the destruction of the Nord Stream pipelines, massive energy links that once carried Russian natural gas to Europe. The explosions in the Baltic Sea shocked the world. Investigations have been ongoing, but definitive public conclusions remain limited and politically sensitive. Putin now insists that Western intelligence services were behind the operation, calling it state terrorism. According to Moscow, the attack was meant to permanently sever Europe's energy ties with Russia and deepen the continent's reliance on alternative suppliers. But the accusations didn't stop there. Putin also alleged that Western governments are facilitating what he described as covert nuclear cooperation with Ukraine. He did not provide detailed public evidence, but the implication was clear. Russia views certain Western support as crossing a red line. And that's where tensions escalate dramatically. Ukraine is not a nuclear-armed state. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, it gave up its nuclear arsenal under the 1994 Budapest Memorandum in exchange for security assurances from Russia, the United States, and the United Kingdom. Today, Ukraine operates civilian nuclear power plants, including the massive Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, which has been caught in the crossfire of the war. Western countries have provided Ukraine with advanced conventional weapons systems. The United States, under President Joe Biden, and European allies insist their support is defensive in nature. There is no publicly verified evidence that nuclear weapons or nuclear warhead components are being transferred to Ukraine. However, in modern geopolitical warfare, perception can be as powerful as reality. By raising the nuclear issue, Putin elevates the stakes, framing the conflict not as a regional war, but as a confrontation between Russia and the entire Western security architecture. Energy has always been central to this conflict. Before the war, Europe depended heavily on Russian gas exports. The Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipelines symbolize that relationship. After the invasion of Ukraine, sanctions intensified. Gas flows dropped. Prices surged. Europe scrambled for alternatives. When the pipelines were damaged by underwater explosions, the geopolitical shockwaves were immediate. Russia blamed the West. Western officials suggested Moscow might have had its own motives. Independent investigations have yet to produce a universally accepted conclusion. For Putin, the pipeline incident fits into a broader narrative that the West is waging hybrid warfare against Russia, using economic pressure, intelligence operations, and military support to weaken Moscow. And from Moscow's perspective, the stakes are existential. So why make these accusations now? Analysts suggest several possibilities. First, domestic messaging. By portraying Russia as under attack by powerful external enemies, the Kremlin reinforces internal unity. Second, deterrence. By publicly linking Western support to nuclear escalation, Putin may be attempting to discourage further military aid to Ukraine. Third, negotiation leverage. In high-stakes conflicts, public accusations can shape diplomatic positioning long before talks ever begin. Meanwhile, NATO leaders have repeatedly denied direct involvement in sabotage or nuclear proliferation. The alliance maintains that its support for Ukraine is designed to uphold international law and territorial sovereignty. The information battlefield is intense, and both sides understand the power of narrative. The world now faces several unanswered questions. Will investigations into the pipeline explosions produce clear accountability? Will nuclear rhetoric continue to escalate? And most importantly, can diplomatic channels prevent this wall from spiraling further? As tensions rise between Russia and the West, the risk isn't just military confrontation, it's miscalculation. Because when nuclear language enters the conversation, even indirectly, the margin for error shrinks dramatically. For now, the accusations remain claims without publicly verified proof. But in geopolitics, accusations alone can reshape alliances, markets, and military strategies. This story is far from over. If you want clear breakdowns of the world's biggest geopolitical flashpoints, without the noise, make sure to subscribe to the channel Gem 242, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments.